The film begins by showing a married couple, Dr. Malcolm and Anna, enjoying a special evening together. That night serves as a small celebration of Malcolm's achievement, having just received an award for his dedication as a child psychologist in the city of Philadelphia. Over the years, he has helped many children with psychological issues. Numerous families trust Malcolm with their children due to his gentle approach. However, their happiness that night is suddenly interrupted when they notice their bedroom window shattered and several items scattered across the floor. They quickly realize that someone has broken into their home. The intruder turns out to be Vincent Gray, a man who had once been Malcolm's patient during his childhood. As a child, Vincent was treated by Malcolm for a psychological disorder that caused him to perceive things that could not be medically explained. At the time, Malcolm believed that Vincent's condition stemmed from the trauma of his parents' divorce. But this assumption proved to be incorrect. Malcolm's treatment failed to help him recover. Now Vincent returns, still mentally disturbed. Vincent's presence that night is driven by the disappointment and anger he has harbored for years, believing that Malcolm failed in his role as a doctor who should have helped him overcome his suffering. Shocked by Vincent's arrival, Malcolm tries to calm him down. But Vincent, emotionally unstable, suddenly pulls out a gun. "Did I know you? Don't you know me, hero? Now look at me. Vincent Gray, you failed me. Give me a chance." He shoots Malcolm and shortly afterward takes his own life. Music. Several months after the shooting incident, Malcolm begins to reflect on everything that happened. He reconsiders Vincent's words and realizes that he had never fully understood or properly helped his patient. Determined not to repeat the same mistakes, he changes his perspective as a doctor and commits himself to improving his approach. In his efforts to grow and make amends, Malcolm returns to work. This time, he is asked to treat a young boy named Cole, who exhibits symptoms similar to those Vincent once had. Interestingly, Cole's background mirrors Vincent's, as his parents have recently gone through a divorce. One day, Malcolm sat in front of Cole's house, waiting for the right moment to approach him. Soon after, Cole ran out of the house and headed straight toward a church. Malcolm quickly followed him there. Music. At the church, Cole appeared to be playing while uttering a phrase in Latin, De pundis clamo domen. Besides hearing him speak in Latin, Malcolm also noticed a wound on Cole's hand that looked like it had been caused by physical abuse. Profundus domen. After this brief encounter, Malcolm returned home to research the meaning of the phrase Cole had spoken. When he arrived, he found that Anna had eaten earlier and had fallen asleep without waiting for him. Since the shooting incident, their relationship had become increasingly strained. Adding to that, Malcolm's busy work schedule meant he rarely spent time at home. That night, Malcolm went down to the basement, his usual workspace. There he searched through reference books to understand the meaning of the Latin phrase spoken by Cole. He discovered that it meant out of the depths, "I cry to you, O Lord." The next day, Malcolm met Cole's mother, Lynn. They appear to be waiting for Cole to return from school. When Cole arrived home, Malcolm tried to approach him gently, praising him as a good child who never caused trouble at school. However, the reality was different. At school, Cole was known as a strange child, both by teachers and classmates. He often behaved oddly and drew unusual things, one of which was a figure of a man with a screwdriver piercing his neck. These drawings prompted the school to call Lynn, who ended up crying out of concern for Cole's condition. From that point on, Cole stopped drawing to avoid upsetting his mother. Before leaving, Cole told Malcolm that he would not be able to help with the problems he was experiencing. Got hurt in the neck by another man with a screwdriver. Mom started crying. "But you can't help me." That evening, Malcolm arrived late at the restaurant to celebrate his wedding anniversary with Anna. He tried to explain that his delay was due to an unsuccessful therapy session with Cole. However, Anna remained silent, visibly disappointed, and did not respond. Without saying a word, she paid the dinner bill and left Malcolm alone. The next morning, Lynn prepared breakfast and Cole's school supplies. While reaching for a tie near the washing machine, she was startled to find all the kitchen doors and drawers open for no reason. Cole said not a word and quickly left for school to avoid being late. After Cole's departure, Lynn began tidying the house and was shocked to see several photos of Cole on the wall reflecting strange flashes of light. She also found a piece of paper containing scribbled profanities inappropriate for a child Cole's age. Meanwhile, at school, a history teacher was discussing the origins of the building where they studied. When asked, only Cole raised his hand and stated that the building had once been used to hang people, where many cried and said goodbye to their families before being executed. The history teacher immediately corrected him, explaining that the building had originally been a courthouse, which was later repurposed as a school. However, Cole kept interrupting the teacher and insisted that the place had been used for executions. The teacher grew irritated and continued to stare at Cole. Feeling uncomfortable, Cole mocked the teacher by calling him stammering, which angered the teacher since very few people knew about his past speech difficulty. Eventually, Cole was taken to the guidance counselor's office and Malcolm arrived to handle the situation. Music, I don't want to talk about anything right now. After returning home from work, Malcolm saw the television on and accidentally came across a recording of his wedding with Anna. In the video, it was clear how deeply Anna loved him. Malcolm then tried to find Anna only to discover she was taking a shower. However, he was shocked to find antidepressants, suggesting that Anna had been struggling with depression, likely due to Malcolm's frequent absence from home and his prioritization of work, which left her feeling lonely. Instead of knocking on the bathroom door to ask for an explanation or to apologize, Malcolm chose to go to his workspace. The next day, Cole attended the birthday party of one of his friends, Darren. Unlike the other children who played together, Cole preferred to be alone as he was always considered strange by his peers. While standing quietly, Cole suddenly heard a mysterious whisper guiding him upstairs and telling him to open a closet. Some mischievous children who had been following Cole from behind then locked him inside the closet. Inside, Cole screamed hysterically as he felt the presence of another being that hurt him, causing him to faint. His cries were heard by Lynn, who quickly freed him from the closet and found that Cole had lost consciousness. Cole was immediately rushed to the hospital for treatment. The doctor informed Lynn that Cole's body had numerous wounds and bruises. This was when Lynn finally realized that Cole had most likely been a victim of bullying at school. Until then, Cole had never shared his problems at school and always acted as if everything were fine. Upon hearing the medical report, Malcolm tried to approach Cole so that he would open up. When Malcolm sat beside him and tried to start a conversation, Cole instead asked why Malcolm looked so sad. He claimed he could feel the sadness inside Malcolm. The question left Malcolm momentarily speechless. Then, he decided to share a story drawn from his own life. He told Cole that there was once a man named Malcolm, a child psychologist who loved his work more than anything. Every day, he tried to help children overcome the fears within them. However, one day he made a grave mistake with one of his patients. He failed to help the child, and the failure left a wound that would never heal. Guilt haunted him every day, making him constantly reflect and blame himself. From that day on, the man vowed to become better and never let the same mistake happen again. However, this change caused his relationship with his wife to become strained. They rarely spoke, and even at home, they felt like strangers. One day, Dr. Malcolm met a child who reminded him of the patient he had once failed to help. From that moment, he was determined to do everything he could to ensure that this child would not suffer the same fate as his former patient. Cole, listening to Malcolm's story, slowly realized that the child in the story was actually himself. Gradually, Cole began to open up and reveal a secret he had never shared with anyone, not even his own mother. Cole confessed that he had the ability to see the dead. What he saw was not just shadows or dreams. He could see them clearly, complete with the wounds and their final state before death. The most terrifying part for Cole was that many of them were unaware that they were actually dead. They continued to carry out their routines as if they were still alive. Hearing this confession, Malcolm was initially silent. At first, he thought that what Cole was experiencing might just be hallucinations or symptoms of paranoia. Malcolm even considered that the wounds on Cole's hands might have been caused by Cole himself. I want to tell you my secret now. I see dead people. They don't know they're dead. That night, Cole was allowed to go home as his condition had started to improve. Lynn put him to bed, but in the middle of the night, Cole woke up needing to use the bathroom. While relieving himself, he suddenly felt the presence of something moving behind him. When he looked, Cole clearly saw the ghostly figure of a woman, her arms covered in numerous wounds. Frightened, Cole immediately ran and hid inside a small tent he often used as a hiding place. The next day, while walking with Malcolm down the school hallway, Cole suddenly stopped. His eyes were fixed on several people who had died by hanging. Malcolm, however, could not see what Cole saw. Still, he tried to follow the conversation, though he struggled to fully believe what Cole was describing. Cole asked Malcolm to expel the presence, but Malcolm replied that he would do his best to help Cole face the situation. He knew that support was crucial, so that Cole would not feel alone. "It's really just standing still at dinner." Lynn noticed that her jewelry, which also belonged to Cole's grandmother, had been found in Cole's bedroom drawer. The jewelry was very valuable, and she had always kept it carefully to prevent it from being lost, since only the two of them were at home. Lynn asked Cole to tell the truth about how the jewelry ended up in his room. However, Cole insisted that he had not moved it. Cole's answer only deepened Lynn's disappointment. She found it hard to believe, as the situation was clear. Only the two of them lived in the house. Her anger flared, and she told Cole to return to his room. As Cole walked toward his room, he saw his dog suddenly running in fear. A young boy ghost had entered his room. Terrified, Cole ran back to where his mother was. He hoped Lynn would no longer be angry with him after the dinner table incident. Without a word, Cole hugged his mother tightly. Lynn felt Cole trembling violently in her arms. She was puzzled and wondered why he was so scared that his whole body shook. Cole, however, remained silent, unwilling to reveal the true cause of his fear. He knew his mother would have difficulty believing what he was about to say. The next day, while Anna was at work, a man very close to her came to visit. Their relationship was so intimate that Anna even gave him a gift. They hugged and shared warmth until suddenly a glass shattered. Malcolm, witnessing the scene, immediately realized that his wife was being affectionate with another man. Feeling hurt and disappointed, Malcolm decided to stop handling Cole's case so he could focus on repairing his own marriage, which had started to strain because of his work. Hearing this decision, Cole felt deeply sad and crushed. Malcolm had been the only person who truly believed in and supported him all this time. If Malcolm left, Cole didn't know who he could confide in, since Malcolm was the only one he could trust. Seeing the sadness etched on Cole's face made Malcolm reconsider his decision. At home, his thoughts returned to Vincent Gray. He reopened old case files, looking for clues that might have been overlooked. While playing back an interview he had conducted with Vincent as a child, Malcolm noticed something strange. Amid Vincent's responses, a foreign voice could be heard, even though only he and Vincent had been present during the session. Turning up the volume, Malcolm clearly heard the voice of a man pleading for help in Spanish. This mysterious voice strengthened Malcolm's suspicion that both Vincent Gray and Cole shared the ability to see invisible entities. "Vincent, will you excuse me? I have to take this. Oh my God." Determined, Malcolm rushed to meet Cole. He asked what the spirits that frequently appeared to him truly wanted. Malcolm believed there must be a strong reason why these spirits were drawn to Cole. To find the answer, he encouraged Cole to try communicating directly with them. He reassured Cole that perhaps the spirits were trying to convey messages they hadn't delivered during their lives. By listening and understanding what the spirits wanted to say, they might be able to help them find peace and move on. That night, Cole was visited by the ghost of a young girl with a pale face vomiting from her mouth. Terrified at first, Cole ran away. Then he remembered Malcolm's advice to be brave and communicate with the spirits. Gathering his courage, Cole finally asked the girl's spirit what she wanted. It was revealed that her name was Kira. Kira asked Cole to attend a funeral at her home. Although he did not know Kira, Cole, accompanied by Malcolm, hurried to the location. Upon arrival, many people were mourning Kira's death. Cole and Malcolm entered Kira's room, where her spirit appeared beneath the bed and handed them a box. Kira's spirit instructed Cole to give the box to her father. When Kira's father opened the box, he found a video recording inside. As the video played, he was shocked to learn that Kira's death had been caused by her own mother. For months, Kira's mother had been secretly poisoning her food. This explained why Kira's spirit had been vomiting when she first appeared to Cole. Overcome with grief and rage, Kira's father confronted his wife, realizing she was the one responsible for Kira's death. Fortunately, the truth was revealed in time, sparing Kira's youngest sibling from becoming a victim of their mother's cruelty. "You were keeping her sick." Music. From that moment on, Cole was no longer afraid of the spirits that appeared to him. He even began to speak to them without hesitation. This transformation was largely thanks to Malcolm's unwavering support, always giving advice and guiding him through difficult times. With Malcolm's help, Cole began to live more like other children. He became happier, braver, and more willing to socialize with his classmates. Eventually, he was trusted to perform in the school's art showcase. In the event, Cole played a major role as one of the main characters. Malcolm, sitting among the audience, watched with pride as Cole stood confidently on stage. He knew that the boy had made peace with himself and accepted the abilities he possessed. After the performance, Cole realized that this would be the end of his journey with Malcolm. They would never meet again. Though his heart felt heavy, he wanted to give something meaningful before they parted. He suggested that Malcolm try speaking to his wife, Anna, while she was asleep. According to Cole, even if Anna didn't consciously notice, she would hear his words in her heart. "Not going to see you anymore, am I? I'm going to go now." After saying goodbye, Cole went home with his mother. On the way, they were caught in a severe traffic jam. While sitting in the car, Cole felt it was the right moment to open up and reveal the abilities he had kept hidden for so long. He told his mother that the traffic jam was caused by an accident that had killed a woman. Cole could see the woman's spirit standing beside their car window. This explained why he had often been frightened in the past and why his behavior had sometimes seemed different from other children. Now, however, he began to understand that the spirits did not always intend to harm him. They were trying to convey messages left unfinished during their lives. At first, Lynn struggled to believe her son. But then, Cole delivered a message from Lynn's mother, Cole's grandmother. She sent her love and expressed regret for having taken the jewelry and placed it in Cole's drawer. Cole also shared memories of Lynn's childhood that he learned from her mother. He reminded Lynn of a school dance performance she had hoped her mother would attend, not knowing that her mother had died beforehand. Even so, Lynn's mother had been present in spirit, watching her dance and feeling deeply proud. Cole then recalled a moment when Lynn visited her mother's grave and asked, "Have I made you proud?" Through Cole, her mother finally answered, "Every day." Hearing this, Lynn fell silent, tears streaming down her face. For the first time, she truly understood that what Cole saw and experienced was real. Meanwhile, Malcolm returned home and found a recording of his wedding being played. Anna was asleep in a chair, occasionally murmuring and asking why Malcolm had left her alone. "Anna, I miss you. Why did you leave me? What?" At that moment, Malcolm's wedding ring slipped from Anna's hand and fell to the floor. Seeing it, Malcolm realized that his own ring was no longer on his finger. That moment reminded him of what Cole had said earlier, that many spirits do not even realize they have passed away. Gradually, Malcolm's fragmented memories began to fall into place. He recalled the incident that night when Vincent Gray had shot him. Until now, Malcolm had never fully realized that the shot had taken his life. All this time, he had been living his days as usual, helping Cole, unaware that he was no longer human. His daily routines were merely echoes of his life while alive. This also explained why he had only interacted with Cole. All along, only Cole could see and hear him. Anna, Lynn, and others had never noticed his presence. Malcolm began to understand why Anna often seemed sad, spoke little to him, and appeared distant. It wasn't because she didn't love him anymore, but because she couldn't see him. Even so, Anna still held deep affection for him. She hadn't fully accepted Malcolm's passing, as shown by her habit of playing their wedding recording and preparing a table to celebrate their anniversary at a restaurant. Unaware that Malcolm's spirit was there, the medications Malcolm had seen at home were signs that Anna was struggling with depression from losing her beloved husband. The study room that Malcolm had always entered so easily had actually been locked and blocked by Anna. But as a spirit, he could pass through it without realizing it. As Cole had explained, spirits who are unaware of their death continue to perform activities as if they were alive. And that was exactly what had been happening to Malcolm. Cole had once told him after the school performance that they might never meet again. At the time, Malcolm hadn't fully understood what he meant, but now he did. Realizing the truth, he knew it was time to move on. He had helped Cole face his fears and had atoned for past failures, especially concerning Vincent. Before departing, Malcolm looked at Anna with deep love and said his farewell, expressing that he would always love her. With that, he finally found peace and gradually faded away, leaving Anna unaware that her husband had been near her all along as a spirit, and thus the story came to its conclusion.